Hello my lovelies, welcome to your practice this week. So nice and simple, just blocks and a blanket, remembering you can use books and towels if you don't have regular yoga props. I'll give you a moment to grab what you need and I will see you back on the mat when you're ready. Alright my lovelies. So I'm going to invite you to actually come lying down on your back and let your knees kiss together. So if you need your blanket to go under your head, you can do that. So you guys are going to lay down, chin slightly tucked, arms by your sides, palms facing up, knees just gently coming together. I'll give you just a moment to settle in. So have a little fidget. Arrange the blanket under your head if you're using one. Let your feet be slightly wider than your hips so that your knees can lean into each other. So you can relax your body completely in that laying down pose. And then just start to allow your breath. Just allow your body to be as it is. So we're not trying to do anything. We're not trying to achieve anything right now. We're just allowing the body to breathe itself and just experiencing that sense of allowing and accepting, of surrendering to what is. As you lay on your back, resting, allowing gravity to gently hold you on the floor so you can let go of holding. I'm going to read to you one of the beautiful sutras from the Radiant Sutras. Radiant One. The life essence carries on its play through the pulsing rhythm of outward and inward movement. This is the ceaseless throb, the rhythm of life, terrifying in its eternity, exquisite in its consistency. The inhalation is the return movement of breath, sustaining life. The outgoing breath purifies life. These are the two poles between which respiration goes on unceasingly. Between them is every delight you could desire. Even when the senses are turned outward, your attention on the external world, attend also to the inner throb, the pulsing of the creative impulse within you. So as we move through our practice today, as always, I invite you to be aware of your breath. But I also invite you to welcome all random thoughts without judging your experience. Allow everything. Anything you're tempted to block out, some part that you're trying to suppress, welcome it in. It's part of your vitality, it's part of your life force, it's part of your life electricity. It's your wildness. And it needs your attention. So as we lay on our back, let's straighten out the legs. And we're going to just move with our breath. We're going to open up the front body today through our whole practice. So we'll start out gently. So as you inhale, point your toes, stretch your arms up overhead. And then as you're ready to exhale, we're going to flex the feet. So toes towards the nose, maybe the heels will lift and the arms are going to come down by your sides. Inhaling, stretching, opening. Pointing the toes, reaching the fingers away from you. Exhaling, flexing the feet towards you, bringing your arms down by your sides. Inhaling, stretching. Exhaling. We'll do just a couple more of these. So moving in time with your breath. Inhale, we're expanding, we're opening. Exhaling, we're gently releasing the breath, relaxing the body back. And the next time you're on an exhale, we'll just come back to stillness. Arms can come down by your side. And then let's step the feet back. So this time, we're going to have the feet together, the insides of the feet touching, the knees are touching. So the inhale, we're going to carry on with that beautiful arm movement. Okay, the inhale, we're going to open up our knees. So the knees are going to tumble down to the floor, the arms are going to stretch overhead, the soles of the feet may touch. And as you exhale, roll your feet back. So the soles of the feet are touching the floor. The arms are coming down by your sides. The knees are together. Inhaling, finding that sense of opening, expansion, welcoming. Exhaling, letting go. Again, just finding your own pace, your own rhythm, moving with your breath. And if you find that your movement has finished before your inhale or your exhale, just pause in stillness. And in that external stillness, notice all of the moving that's happening internally. The rhythms, the pulses, the beats that are happening within. Next time you inhale, we'll hang out here just for a couple of breaths, so let your knees fall open, your arms are out by your sides or up over your head, whatever feels good to you in this moment. Again, just enjoying that sensation of external stillness and internal movement. Beautiful. And then as you're ready, let's exhale, bring the knees back together. Okay. We'll hug the knees into the chest. Maybe just roll from side to side. Draw circles with your knees, creating some kind of movement as you hug the knees into the chest. And then on your next exhale, we're going to draw the belly in and up towards the spine. Use that drawing in and up to peel the spine off the floor. And maybe bring our nose to our knee. So this movement is coming from the belly button, not from the muscles at the back of the neck. Inhale, float down. And as you're ready, exhale, draw it all back in. See if you can draw the nose up towards the knees. Again, the movement is coming from the drawing in and upwards of the belly button, not from kind of cranking and squeezing and tensing the neck. When you're ready to inhale, float it down. We'll do one more. Exhaling, drawing the belly in and up. And inhaling, floating down. landing the feet on the mat. Open the arms up to airplane arms. So arms, elbows are in shoulder height, arms are on the ground. I'm going to inhale, scoot your bum over to the right just an inch, and as you exhale, let the knees fall to the left. So we're coming into a twist here. Let the body settle. Only coming as deeply as you're ready to come. This is first twist that the body is experiencing. Maybe we can turn the head to the left or to the right. Again, what feels good in your body? Letting go of all the shoulds and expectations. And next time you're ready to inhale, bring your head back to center. If you turned your head, we'll exhale the knees back to center. Maybe hug them in. And we'll land the feet back on the floor. Open up the arms. Scooch the bum over to the left. Let the knees fall to the right. Let the knees land. See how this feels, this side of the body. Don't worry about the knees touching the ground. And then as you're ready, maybe you can turn your head to the right or to the left. Again, just checking in with what feels right for this side, letting go of what happened before, how you did the shape before. Letting go of how you think the shape should look. And next inhale, bring your head back to center. And exhale the knees in. Again, just hugging the knees in. And we're going to rock up and down on the length of the spine. So again, this is coming from your inhale and your exhale. So I'm coming up on my exhale, I'm letting myself fall backwards on my inhale. And coming up to sitting, and we're going to spin around onto our bellies. So we're going to start out in Sphinx Pose. So we've moved the spine in a few different directions, and then we're going to start to open up the front of the body a little bit more. So place your hands, elbows are under the shoulders, and wrists are kind of in line with the elbows. Palms are flat on the floor. So this is kind of where we begin, and then we start to arrange the shape to suit you. If you need something under your belly to support your back, you can use your blanket. If you need your elbows a little bit wider because it's a little bit too much for your low back, adjust your elbows. Okay? But as we're here, let's make sure we've got space in our low back, and we can all do this. Press down through your pubic bone and then step back with one foot and then the other, just to create that nice spacious feeling in the low back here. I was taking a couple of breaths here. Again, if it's available, I'm going to invite you to imagine you're lifting out through the crown of the head, and then as you exhale, tuck your chin towards your throat. So we're not bringing the chin down, we're still kind of having that lifting. We're creating a double chin, and we're drawing the occipital bone backwards. So I'm going to invite you to still press down through your pubic bone. And then on your next exhale, draw the belly towards the spine, press down through the pubic bone, keep that sense of engagement, and pressing down through the thighs, through the pubic bone, start to draw the heels up. So we don't need to bring the heels all the way to the bum. We want to keep that connection between the pubic bone and the thighs and the belly and the floor. So if you feel that sensation of your bum starting to lift up, lower your heels down. Okay? And just play around with this, see how far you can go. Maybe just walk your knees away a little bit. And we're just playing around with this. Maybe you can just tease in a little bit of movement. But we don't want to let go of that connection of the pubic bone. So keep pressing down through here. If you feel like you can do a little bit more, take your hands to the edge of the mat. Maybe you can stretch out your arms a little bit. Exhale, a little bend. So again, we're just introducing Some stretch through the front body, nice and gently. Exhaling, floating down, forehead onto the back of the hands. Let the body land here. And then as you're ready, slide the right knee along the floor. I'm going to slide the right knee along the floor towards the right elbow. You can keep your forehead on the back of the hands. And then from here, again, if it feels good, either you can turn your head to the right or you can turn your head to the left. And as you hang out here, it may feel good to think about maybe straightening out the right leg a little bit. If you can straighten your right leg out a little bit, maybe whichever direction you have your head in, you can turn your head towards the right foot, resting your head on your left hand. You might be able to reach for your right toes. So again, if you're trying to reach for your right toes, but you've actually moved your shoulders from where they were, so we're using the left hand to landmark where our head needs to be. Okay, so we don't want to compromise our spine because somehow or another we think that the pose is holding our right toes. Okay, pose is just a little stretch through the inside of the leg. Okay, that's the pose. Anything else is bells and whistles. Right? We want to find that opening through the inner groin. Let's bring the forehead back to the hands, bring the feet together, take a breath here. So again, we kind of know where we're going with this pose, but let's not hurry it. So forehead stays on the back of the hands, and to begin with, let's slide the left knee along the floor. Okay, so this is where we're going to hang out for a few breaths. Don't worry about straightening out your legs. And if you are straightening out your legs, notice how you're always in a hurry to get to the next thing. So when we hang out here just for a few breaths, we start to relax the inner thigh, start to relax the hamstring. And from that relaxed place, you can turn your head to the right or to the left. Just allowing the nervous system to settle into the stretch. And from that place of being settled, from that place of just accepting what is, we can start to expand and explore and do more. So if you have your head turned, you might want to turn your head to the left. Rest your head on your right hand, and you can think about extending out, straightening out that left leg. Maybe this side you can catch your toes, maybe you can't. So we're using our right hand to landmark our head. We haven't moved the spine. The spine is still where it was. We haven't come into a big twist and a side bend to try and grab our toes. All right, my lovelies. From here, let's bring it back to center. Forehead on the back of the hands. We'll curl the toes under, bring the palms under the shoulders. And as you're ready, we're going to inhale, gently pull ourselves forward. We'll come into a cobra. Beautiful. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, get a little bit soft in the legs. And as you exhale, we're going to peel up into half a plank. So knees are down, body's in plank pose. Press through the heels now. Take a breath here. And from here, you're going to decide if you want to come into a full plank. So find your breath here. Welcome all the thoughts that are happening right now. Welcome all the sensations, all the emotions. Everything is welcome. Breathe. Beautiful. And as you're ready, we're going to float a bum up And find our first down facing dog. Beautiful, my lovelies. As you're ready, inhale, float up with that right foot. And as you exhale, we're going to step forward and we'll find a low lunge. Let's let that that left knee come down onto the ground. At this point, this is something where you might want to have at least one of your props handy, and you may even want your blanket for your knee. If you have a good setup here, let's just check. If you look at the inside of your knee, you can see that that little nubble of your ankle is below the knee. If your knee is over your foot, adjust your foot. Beautiful. Inhale. Let's get a little bit soft here. Let's draw the left hip forward, the right hip back, and as you exhale, wave up through the spine. Draw the shoulders over the hips, and as you inhale, float the arms up. Perfect. Beautiful. All right, my lovelies. As you exhale, we're actually going to exhale, taking the left elbow onto the right thigh, right hand on the hip. Notice if your right hip's crept forward, draw the right hip back. Take a breath here. So this is where we have options. The option is you stay here. The option is maybe you can float your left foot up to the floor, up to the ceiling. Keep the knee on the ground. Okay? This might be enough. Some of you might find without too much effort, you can reach your arm back. So notice we're not changing the upper body too much. Okay? Now from here, let's inhale. Let's see if we can lift up a little bit higher, and then we'll see if, perhaps we can catch our foot, and perhaps we can't. Perfect. One more breath here. As you're ready, exhale, let's unravel. Okay? And we're going to pick up that left knee. So press now into a little bit of a higher lunge. So we've picked up the left knee. You may or may not want your block for this next one. You're going to bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Okay? So you may or you may not want to have your prop. We're going to pivot on the left foot. So we want to feel all four corners of the left foot on the mat, and we want the outside edge of the foot parallel to the bottom of the mat. Inhale, get a little bit of softness in that back leg. And as you exhale, let's take the left hand to the left hip. Beautiful. Big inhale here. Exhale. Maybe from here, next inhale, you can float the arm up towards the ceiling. So the left hand is now pointing towards the ceiling. Maybe have your face and your nose pointing in your face and your hand pointing in the same direction. Inhale, get a little softer here. Okay, soften that back leg. As you exhale, maybe there's a warrior two here. Big inhale. And then as you exhale, let's cartwheel our hands all the way back into a lunge. Beautiful. Inhale here, get nice and loose and soft. Exhale, as you're ready, step back, down facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, get nice and loose and soft here. And exhale. Perfect your version of down facing dog in this moment. As you're ready, inhale, pick up the left leg. And as you exhale, we'll step through into a lunge. So let's take a moment, because this is our foundation for the whole rest of the sequence. So take a moment here. Do you need the blanket to go under your knee? Is your left knee above your left ankle, or is your knee over your foot? Take a nice deep inhale here, and let's draw the left hip back, the right hip forward. Are there any expectations present? Can you let them go? Can you just be with them? Okay. Can you welcome them? All right, my lovelies. So from here, inhale, feel a sense of softness, fluidity. As you exhale, we roll up. Inhale, float the arms up. Check in with your hip, left hip back, right hip forward. Beautiful. On your next exhale, we're going to take the right hand onto the left thigh. And we'll bring our left hand onto our left hip. Take a moment here to set up, to catch your breath. And then as you're ready, curl your toes under. At this point, you might be able to float your foot a little bit. So the right foot is just floating a little bit, knee on the floor. Okay. Maybe now, kind of like a swimming stroke, you can reach back with your left finger. So this might be where you're at. This might be enough. Okay. Inhale, maybe come up a little bit higher with your shoulders, and then you might find you can catch your foot. Take a breath here. And then exhale, we'll unravel. Good. All right, my lovelies. Inhale, pick up that back knee. Take a breath. We're going to bring the left hand to the inside of the the left foot. You can have your hand on the block, or you can have your hand on the floor. Okay, so you're going to decide what you have the capacity to do. And from here, we're going to pivot on the back foot. Okay, so 4 corners of the foot are on the floor, and the outside of the foot is parallel to the bottom of the mat. We'll take our right hand to our right hip. Take a couple of breaths here. So this might be enough. This might be where you're at. Okay, and that's fine. If you think you might like to go a little deeper, inhale, soften, right? So we want to find that softness, find that downward energy, and then as you exhale, we'll find warrior 2. Big breath here. Beautiful. On your next exhale, let's cartwheel down. We'll find our lunge. Beautiful. Inhale, get nice and loose and soft here. Exhale, step back. So take a couple of breaths in your down facing dog pose. Inhaling, exhaling through the nose. Maybe you want to walk out your dog. And then find a sense of rest. So noticing, just as we have been over the last little while, where is the weight in your hands? Bring the hand weight or the weight into the hands to that thumb side. Roll it up into your knuckles, into your fingertips. Press down through the heels, even if they're not quite on the floor. One more breath here. And then inhale. Let's get nice and loose and soft. And just find a little bit of movement. Exhale, press through the feet. And we're going to inhale, pick up the right leg. Now this time we're going to bend the knee, lift the knee up to the ceiling, and let that right foot kick down to our left hip. 3-legged dog. Beautiful. Now we're going to come all the way into pigeon here. So there are options. So from here, you can replace your foot onto the floor, come into hands and knees pose, and bring your right foot forward. Or from here, you can step all the way through with your right foot to the left wrist, right knee to the right wrist. Okay, so here we are in the beginning of pigeon pose. And as you hang out in your pigeon pose, just noticing what's going on in your body. Okay, so we're just going to percolate here. So if you've managed to come into this shape, you might find you want a block to go under your bum. You might find you want a blanket to go under the left knee. If you're kind of still up here and it's just not happening for you, option 1 is to sit on your right heel. Okay, so that's option 1. Okay. Option 2 is to roll down into the shape. So the legs are bent and you're sat in your right hip. So there's a little bit of something that everyone can kind of manage to do. Okay, so you're either sat on your right hip and your legs are soft, your legs are bent. And if this is your option, this is where you're going to hang out. Same with you. If you're here, this is where you're going to hang out. Okay, just feel this little bit of stretch and this will be enough. If you're here, if you've got your right foot or your left foot by your your right foot by your left hand, your right knee by your right wrist, okay, you can continue on. So you've kind of percolated here a little bit, okay. We're going to curl the left toes under, okay, and actually see if you can stretch that left knee back just a fraction. Okay, so you're not really on the knee anymore, you're kind of on the bottom of the thigh, and we're going to lift the left foot up. Okay, so again, we're only lifting it to where it wants to go. We can take our left hand to a midline. Okay, and then we're going to reach the right hand up, and like a swimming stroke, maybe we can catch our foot. Okay, so again, we're playing around with opening up the front of the body. If we've spent a lot of time sitting, so we've spent a lot of time at desks or driving, this might feel kind of challenging because we've shrunk down through the front body. So if you're just here, that's fine, right? Whatever you can manage today. One more breath. Beautiful. Okay, as you're ready, let's unravel. Forehead is going to come on to the back of the hands. Again, if you're not quite there, if you're up on your elbows, take your second block and put the block under your belly. Okay, so now your weight is on the block, not in your shoulders. And you can let your head dangle. Okay, so there's always lots of options. For those of you that can actually come all the way down, maybe resting your belly on your leg and your forehead on the back of your hands, if you're there, I'm going to invite you to stretch your arms out and then take your hands, your arms for a walk to the left side. So we're getting a little bit of a side stretch here. So again, you're just exploring where you are, okay? For those of you that are hanging out here still, this is great. This is still a really big stretch for you, okay? The same with you guys that are maybe sat on your heel, okay? This is still an awesome stretch. You're really stretching out through the front of the left side of your body, okay? So if you've come over into that side stretch, okay, I'm going to invite you to come back. Okay, and then all of you can bring your hands under your shoulders, curl the back toes under, and whatever version of this you're in, very slowly, either from hands and knees pose or from your pigeon pose, you're going to lift up and find your down facing dog. Let's just take a little stretch in here. Let's just take a little rest here. Beautiful. All right, my lovers. Soften as you inhale. Feel a sense of buoyancy. As you exhale, press down through your feet, through your hands. And I'm going to inhale, pick up the left leg. And again, we can make our way into that three-legged dog. So let the knee bend. Left knee bends, left knee points up towards the ceiling. Left heel kind of kicks down towards the right hip. Take a breath or two here. And then as you're ready, we're going to make our way in to a pigeon pose on this side. Okay, so again, if that is not available to you, bring yourself down onto hands and knees and bring your left foot forward from there. Okay, remembering the option of being here. This is a perfectly good option to introduce some stretch. Okay, or perhaps today you're going to sit on your heel. Okay, so there's lots of options. If you're here, okay, you need just a little bit of support. Remember, you can put your block under your hip. Okay, that'll give you a little bit more stretch through the front of the body. You might want to put your knee on your blanket. Okay, so lots of options. Always lots of options. I'm going to take just a few breaths here, just percolating. Just allowing yourself to sink down into the shape. So we want to feel a nice deep stretch here. And although we have a little bit of back bend happening, we don't want to feel any pinching in the low back. So my lovelies, as you're ready, we're going to curl the back foot under and draw the knee back. Okay, so as we draw the knee back, you're finding that you're a little bit more on the top of the thigh, or sorry, on the thigh rather than the knee, right? So we're at the top of the knee, the base of the thigh rather than on the kneecap. And then as you're ready, you can think about lifting your right foot. We're going to bring the right hand to the midline. Okay, and then again, options. Everything is an option. Take your left hand out in front as if you were going to do a swimming stroke, and then perhaps it's available for you to catch your right foot. So just taking a couple of breaths here, right? And again, if your pose looks like this, that's perfect, right? Whatever your pose looks like, you're stretching the front of your body. We're opening up. We're letting the defenses down. So when we are curled up towards the front of the body, whether it's spending time sitting at a desk or driving, there's a sense of shortening through the front of the body. We tend to round our shoulders forward. We're protecting the front side of the body. When we do these kind of shapes, we're opening up the front of the body. We're letting ourselves be vulnerable. We're being courageous. We're letting go of our defenses. If you're ready, which you possibly are about now, put your hand down, your foot down. And again, we're going to make our way down into that sleeping pigeon, forehead on the back of the hands. If that's not quite where you're at right now, remember, be kind to your body. We've just spent some time opening the shoulders up, so maybe let the weight of your body go onto the block rather than into your shoulders. And for those of you that have managed to get your forehead onto the back of your hands, for you guys, you might want to stretch your arms up, and then you can come into a side stretch. And we'll just take a few breaths here. As you're ready, bring your palms under your shoulders. We'll curl the back toes under. Okay, push up and back, either into hands and knees and then down facing dog. You can come straight up into your down facing dog. If you want a little bit of movement here, you can create some movement. And then float your knees to the floor, toes touching. You can let your knees be wide, and we'll come into extended child pose. Again, we're just allowing all the thoughts to come. Welcoming, letting the mind drift. And very slowly press your palms under the mat. And we'll slide around onto a bum. Good. And then one last forward fold, just allowing the hands to slide down the legs. Again, just a beautiful counter stretch for the opening that we've had through the front of the body. Let your head be heavy. This is feeling really tight in your hamstrings. We're going to be here for just a little bit of time. So if you're finding that it is just a little too much for your hamstring, please feel welcome to put a blanket under your knees. That will be quite lovely for your hamstrings. It'll just give it a little bit more space for them to stretch. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let the breath go. Inhale, feel a sense of softness, a sense of buoyancy. And exhale. Exhale one vertebrae at a time. All the way up to sitting. Inhale, maybe float the arms up. And exhale, bring the arms down. So we'll bring ourselves down onto our back, and just to begin with, you can put your head on your blanket. We're going to have the knees bent to begin with, so we're going to kind of finish as we began. So if you want your head under your blanket, you can. If you want, when you go into Shavasana, props under your legs, make sure that they are reachable before you lay down, because we're going to come from this shape into our full Shavasana. So let your arms be out by your sides. Let your feet be a little wider than your hips. Let your knees touch. And again, we'll just take a few breaths here. Just feeling your whole body sink down on the ground. Noticing your breath without really doing anything with it. Just playing around with this ebb and flow. And as you're ready, if you want to, you can stay as you are, or you can slide your feet along the floor. Let your feet fall open at the heels. You might decide that you want to have your feet mat width. Arms can spill off the mat, palms facing up. Maybe just shift your head from side to side a couple of times. And just allow yourself to settle. So again, if you want to have a little fidget, okay, we want to find that sweet spot in Shavasana. We want to be able to completely let go here. Just allowing ourselves to be here without having to do anything. And without doing anything, without moving or shifting, bringing your attention to each point of your body as I mention it. Brow point, hollow of the throat, right shoulder, right elbow, wrist, tip of the thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, wrist, elbow, shoulder, hollow of the throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, tip of the left thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, wrist, elbow, shoulder, hollow of the throat, center of the chest, right nipple, center of the chest, left nipple, center of the chest, navel point, center of the pubic bone, right hip, knee, ankle, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, ankle, knee, hip, center of the pubic bone, left hip, knee, ankle, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, ankle, knee, hip, center of the pubic bone, navel point, center of the chest, hollow of the throat, brow point. Allowing yourself to rest in the vastness of that point between your eyebrows, above the bridge of the nose, the third eye point, the sixth chakra. Resting here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let the breath go. Bringing some movement to your fingers and your toes. Stretch your arms up overhead. You're stretching, waking up from a deep sleep. Make circles with your ankles and your wrists. Circles the other way. And bend your knees. You can bring your hands to your belly. If it feels good, you want to bring your knees into your chest. Bring your knees into your chest. If you feel like you want to move, you can rock from side to side. So whatever feels good for you right now, just introducing movement gently to your body. Just shifting slowly out of that deeply relaxed state of the parasympathetic nervous system. And just shifting gently into the awakening, the sympathetic nervous system, where we're getting ready to move back into action. As you're ready, roll over onto your side, rest your head upon your arm. And in this beautiful state of vastness, of deep awareness, I invite you to set an intention. It can be an intention for the rest of the day. It can be an intention for your week. It can be an intention around something that you would really like to change. And as you're ready, press your palms on the mat. Come up on an exhale, peeling yourself off the floor. We'll close our practice. We'll chant one Om together. And thinking about something we are in gratitude for. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let the breath go. And let's inhale to close. Satnam, thank you for sharing your practice, for sharing your time. Namaste.